favorite TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers. Welcome to the Monday Morning Digest. I'm your host, Godfrey Gichuki, and once again, we are here on this wonderful day of it's actually the 3rd of March, 2025. I think I still have the bag of 2024. Yeah, so we're live here at Elevate TV, and we welcome you to join us for the Monday Morning Digest, an amazing conversation. Today we're going to be talking business matters. We are going to be looking at economic impact through the micro, small, and medium enterprises, the MSMEs, and we're going to be looking at some of the opportunities that are there and how we can leverage them. And when you think about the Kenyan economy, when you think about the growth areas, the sectors that are growing, and where there are opportunities actually for the many young people who are unemployed, or small entrepreneurs probably who are looking for opportunities, we are here this morning to give you ideas and to tell you where the opportunities are, where you can actually get funding, and how you can actually structure your business so that it actually makes sense and works. And this morning I'm joined in the studio by my friend here, Benard Mugo. Benard Mugo is actually an expert. He's an entrepreneur, trained expert, and he's an economist, and he's going to be telling us more about what he does on a daily basis. And he is here on the studio basically to share with us some of the insights, some of the ideas he has learned in his work, working with in the development sector and supporting business associations, helping people structure their small businesses, working across the nation. So he has a wealth of information, and he can give us really a very good overview. And of course, maybe I'll be asking him whether he thinks Kenya's economy is growing or it's dying. Some people, people take different positions depending on where their starting point. This country is collapsing. The economy is going to fail. We're going to just shut down. There are people who are very pessimistic, and they have, of course, reasons for that. And the other people actually see the sunshine, shining brightly, and they see the future. So that's that. We're going to dive into the details of this conversation. So welcome to the show, my friend Benard. Look at that camera. Welcome our viewers. Introduce yourself, and let's dive straight into the conversation.
Thank you so much, our viewers. Today we are talking about the opportunities that are available in the MSMEs, particularly in Kenya. And I'm going to delve deep on what happens in the micro retail sector, that is those people who own small businesses, and how they can leverage on the opportunities that are available either in the government or in the other sector players that are there, so that they can grow and improve on their profit margins. I'm Benard Mugo. I'm an economist. I work with a development organization, and my daily activities is capacity enhancement for the micro retailers in the areas of merchandising, customer service, supply chain management, and government policies. I also help them to form business associations that are able to structure them and make and make them organizations that can deal with the government, they can deal with the private sector players, and also the financial institution. And we have also brought them under an umbrella body, which is acting as an advocacy, so that we can have conversations with the government at different levels, the central government and the county government. So that is what I do, and that is what my passion is. I am very passionate on alleviating poverty through entrepreneurship.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that, Benard, and thank you for working in this particular sector and understanding it. Because I think the more you understand the opportunities and the details of some of these sectors, that's how you're able actually to really influence policy. A lot of people believe, they want to kind of work from top down. Just look at policy or just script. For example, I can give you an example of people who are not involved in the day-to-day. They'll look at, say, the fact that there is a MSME authority and there is actually a state department on
Yes.
MSMEs, and then draw a conclusion there is a conflict of those authorities, those institutions, and all that, and then decide, oh no, if I was the government, I would merge those.
Yes.
But sometimes the devil is in the details. So,
Yes.
let's talk about your experience working with what you are describing as micro retail sector.
Yes.
Describe that. What is that? What is this micro retail sector?
Yes.
And what does it look like? And so that people can see and understand it. Yes.
I know majority of the people know about MSMEs, and I would say that there are different categories.
Okay.
Actually, the very smallest one is called the nano.
Okay.
Nano is that kind of business where a person is dealing with very few items.
Okay.
Even when they go to purchase goods, they just buy a few items. If it is sodas, they just buy 5 sodas, a carton of biscuits, just few items.
Okay.
So we refer to them as nano.
Okay.
Then we move to small. Small, of course, they are business people who are in small structures.
Yes.
Some are, majority of them semi-permanent.
Okay.
Even shades, umbrellas, and such like we've seen those.
Yes.
Then now you move now to the other higher category, which is medium enterprises, and then you head up now to the big guys, that the large. So when we talk about micro retail, we are talking now about those 3 categories: the nano, then there is the small, and then there is the medium. I know majority of the people know about MSME. If you mention about MSME, then that's a word that is familiar with us. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and then of course maybe we are talking about things like shops,
Yes.
a normal retail shop, mom and pop shop
Yes.
in the neighborhood falls under that. So yeah, because when we think about, and Mama Mboga, is Mama Mboga part of the nano or the the small things like that? The guy with the, some of them have even become very innovative.
Yes.
They have their merchandise on a movable, say like a wheelbarrow or a cart,
Yes,
and
yes,
so
yes,
they actually, their shop is moving, but they are selling all
Yes,
all
yes.
the more. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes.
So I've mentioned about the umbrellas, of course, and now you have added the aspect of those that are movables.
Yes.
The carts, the wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrow is a term that is very prevalent with us, especially the Kenyan sector at the moment.
Yes.
And all those now are in that particular category, the mama bogas. In fact, when we talk about shop, I know what comes into our mind is where you go and buy sugar, where you go and buy bread. But even somebody who is retailing things like fruits, things like shoes and clothes, the second-hand clothes. All those are shops. Only that now they are dealing with a range of products.
Okay.
Yes.
And where do the people who are selling online for? Because I know there is quite a large group of people who actually sell online. They kind of retail. They sell it through their TikToks, their Instagram accounts, and stuff like that. Where do they fall?
I would say that is what we call an emerging trend.
Okay.
And in our capacity enhancement, remember you talk about, for some years we were talking about capacity building, but we realized these people, a person who has just come out and come up with an idea that I can put a shop and bring this product, that product, and bring them together, they have a certain capacity.
Okay.
So you are not building, you are enhancing.
Okay, okay.
So one of the enhancements that we do is bringing now the aspect of online selling. That is digital. They can do business through Facebook, they can do through GG, they can do through Instagram. TikTok is really trending these days.
Okay.
So somebody can even a shop can bring a unique product.
Okay.
In the mix of the other merchandise. They bring a unique product, then they promote it now through digital. So we can say that the online selling cuts across all businesses. There is no restriction.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. All right, so let's talk about the biggest challenge that plague the micro, especially this micro retail sector. And of my mind, I'm thinking about things like licensing. I'm thinking about the fact that most of these guys operate, some of them operate in temporary structures.
Yes.
And I think that's a very serious problem for our, this part of the world, the developed world.
Yes.
If you go to the developing world, if you go to the developed world, you cannot see a temporary structure anywhere and somebody selling merchandise by the roadside. Those things don't happen. And you wonder why, when you come to this other side of Africa, right at the airport, as soon as you leave the airport, you start meeting shopkeepers and business people. They are everywhere. Even the people who are working are selling, that kind of thing. So we are inundated in this very unstructured yet very robust entrepreneurial environment that we live in. So tell us about the real challenges that plague these sort of sectors, and how can somebody make it even if they are operating from a kibanda. By kibanda we mean a temporary shed, by the roadside, where they can be pushed out anytime, or it can even burn in the night, that kind of thing.
Yeah. The biggest challenge is they are run in an informal way.
Okay.
And they are highly fragmented.
Okay.
So you realize that the institutions that we have, like say the financial institutions, talk about the government.
Yes.
And government have different organs. They got the ministries, they've got agencies that support different sectors of the economy. So for a sector that is informal, they don't know how to approach issues, and that is why you see we are having a lot of challenges. Sometimes, like if we talk of like our good capital city, every time there is running battles between what is known as the people we call hawkers, formerly known as itinerant traders.
Yes.
Simply because they are not structured. And that is one of the challenge. That is one of the challenge that we've been answering for quite a number of time, trying to structure them, trying to formalize, and bringing them into a body that can be recognized by the government.
Right.
So they can, when they go to the county, now they can be addressed as a body, and that body is registered, so it is recognized even by the government. And you realize that even for the counties that have been able to to visit and to go and you know, and hold those events we call market linkage events. You find that if maybe a CEC of trade in a certain county, or even the governor learns that there is such an event that is happening, they want a representation. They want to come and say, well, we know the challenges that you are facing. We know you have the challenge of regulation. You know, like regulation is a big thing. Those, when the government hear that Benard has started a business, they don't want even to know whether I'm making profit. They don't want to know about my challenges, but they want to ensure that I have a license.
Okay.
And the biggest challenge is when we talk about licensing. You realize that if you go to a shop,
yes,
you'll be surprised that there are like 5 licenses.
Right.
If I start a shop, there is the business permit. If I add an M-Pesa, there is a license for that.
Okay.
If I bring in agency banking, there is a license. If I bring gas cylinders, I need a license. If I bring milk, maybe I want to sell milk in an ATM, there is food and poison license. So a number of them. And each of them has, I have to pay.
Okay.
5,000, 8,000, 10,000. So somebody will pay a total of 50,000 for a license, and yet the business unit is small. So when now you bring them together under a body, and then you register. And the government of Kenya, even though we may accuse it of so many things, you realize there are structures there is one body called MSMES.
Yes.
Micro and Small Enterprise Authority.
Yes.
Its work is to register association for business people.
Okay.
Anytime you approach them and you tell them, we are business people from this particular sector, we have come together, we want you to give us a license. In fact, they will facilitate the whole process to make it easier.
Okay.
Even when you are launching, they will send a representative to ensure that that body has been established. So
okay,
now you will be known.
All right.
Yes. And you can now talk to the government and they will listen.
Okay.
You can hold conversations and you'll avoid, the running battles.
Okay.
Yes.
Bwana Benard Mugo here is a very interesting guy. He's calling the guys who, hawkers, he's calling them itinerant traders. I know they are itinerant preachers, but I didn't know they are itinerant traders. And so this is very, very amazing. So basically what you are saying, Bwana Mugo,
yes,
two main things. This fragmentation, that a lot of businesses, people operating in various sectors, whether we're talking about chicken farmers, whether we're talking about shoe traders, or whatever category, if people are able to come together and form an association, it actually gives them leverage, and yes, it begins to help them now resolve some of the challenges they experience as individuals.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us some of the groups you have worked with, some of the success stories where they are actually things are beginning to work. They started from here and now they are now organized. They have been able to negotiate for XYZ. Of course, we will also talk about funding. Funding, I know, is a big issue, but yes, tell us some of the stories about some of the associations that you have worked with.
Yes, I address particularly to the youth. The Gen Zs is a common term for us.
Yeah.
I have some groups somewhere in Mombasa, in a place called Changamwe.
Okay.
And I love that group because it's for young people.
Right.
They usually make, in fact, they do their meetings even very early in the morning when they have their meeting, because they want to go and do their businesses. Okay. So I realize that those young men are very focused, and they know the opportunities that are available in the government, at the county level, everywhere, financiers. And, when we are talking about association, for example, I would like to demystify what are we talking about.
Yes.
Association usually start from the grassroots level.
Okay, okay.
People who are in the same locality, they come together and they form what is commonly known as, a household name is chamas.
Yes.
But they are formerly known as self-help groups.
Okay.
There is a government arm that registers them. There's an office called Social Development Office.
Okay.
So those people from that locality, they are registered with SDO and they get a certificate which enables them to start operating.
Okay.
Then, of course, they have to come up with activities, gathering funds. We usually have three funds that are gathered at that level.
Yeah.
There is what is called merry-go-round. There is what is called, they also do savings. They also have a third fund called table banking.
Yes.
And from the term table, it's money that is brought on the table. And then anyone who has need borrows from that pool.
Yes.
They go do business and then they return with the interest.
Okay, okay.
Yes, and that fund actually grows because of those particular interests. The interest is determined by the members.
Yes, yes, yes.
According, depending with their affordability.
Okay.
And I have seen a lot of success in that because you realize some of these young men, especially those that were throwing stores to the government, you know, give us jobs and such like, they don't have access to finance.
Okay.
But they can build their own finance starting from saving something like 100 shillings or 200 shillings. Actually, in most of those self-help groups, they save from 100 to 500.
Okay.
There are those who are capable, they save up to 1,000. But majority have seen 200, 300.
Okay.
Amazingly, I have seen that money, that particular fund growing to millions from the 200.
All right.
And that money can be accessed easily because no one will ask you for a collateral. No one will ask you where is a title deed or where is a logbook. Yeah, so talking about now that particular group I have in Changamwe, I've seen them expand their enterprises. I have seen them, you know, establishing different enterprises. And you see, the multiplier effect of that is that if I start an extra business, I'll need an extra hand.
Okay.
So I'm going to offer employment opportunity. I bring in somebody else. And I have seen a single individual growing through the table banking and also access to finance in other institutions. We will talk about that. I have seen them growing their enterprises to an extent that somebody can employ 10 people.
Okay.
Just a normal shop in a locality, you know, in an obscure locality somewhere, not very known, but they have 10 employees.
Okay.
In a day.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Amazing stuff. We are talking about economic impact through MSMES. That is the micro, small, and medium enterprises. And my guest here, Benard Mugo, he actually works in that particular sector, working to develop, people that are in the micro retail sector. You know, people are running small businesses. They are retailing. They are actually buying and selling. And some of the key areas that he actually does help is, of course, capacity enhancement, like he said. And capacity enhancements, he said, is actually different from capacity building, because most people come in with some kind of small capacity and all they need is enhancement. And of course, the other thing, one of the other challenge he has identified is the fact that most of those small businesses are unstructured. They are fragmented and informal, and so those are very, very big challenges. And so if we're going to see Kenya grow and people grow their businesses, and I know this is very important even for people who have church groups, that there is a way you can organize yourself. You can form an association, you can form a group. They call them chamas, but in technical language, the government has other ways of describing these social development organizations. and there is a way you can register them and actually access. So we want to talk about funding. Maybe let's start talking about that, because
Yes.
most people, I think that's what they are really keen to hear. How do I develop my small business? Where do I get an extra, say, 200K that I need for my small shop
Yes.
to expand it? Where
Yes.
do I get that money?
Yes.
All right.
Amazingly, as I talked about this being an informal sector,
Yes.
and then you are coming in to formalize it,
Yes.
building bodies that can be recognized
Yes.
by the rural regimes.
Okay.
Because there is a provision for that in the constitution.
Okay.
Then you realize the people we call the ecosystem players,
Yes.
banks, insurance companies, other NGOs, the government itself, government agencies and ministries, they're able to recognize these established units.
Okay.
Let me give an example of banks. We've got banks that when they hear a registered association or a registered group,
Yes.
they want to come.
Okay.
They want to come and even train them
Okay.
for free.
Okay.
Then after that training, they want to open an account for them so that they bank their small savings. And then within a very short time, say 2 months, they can access a loan.
Mm-hmm.
That loan is going to be co-guaranteed by the members of that particular association.
Mm-hmm.
So they not need a logbook.
Mm-hmm.
They not need a title deed.
Okay.
So, and I've seen, I saw somebody accessing 1 million Kenyan shillings without a single collateral.
Okay.
Just members co-guaranteeing him. And the bank is able to disburse that money within a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put it in the businesses. So, if you are operating alone, you will have a long way to go as a loan range. And maybe even your journey is going to terminate at a certain time, because you will have so many challenges.
Okay.
Capital you don't have access to. Licensing, the regulation, you have so many of them, so many licenses that need to be paid.
Right.
You have these revenue collecting officers. They'll still come around. And if they don't have find you with missing one of the licenses, you'll have to part with some money so that they don't close down your whatever you are doing.
Okay.
Another access to finance through government established funds.
Okay. Okay.
We have a Uwezo Fund, which is lent by the government at 0 interest.
Mm-hmm.
We've got what is called GAF,
Mm-hmm.
National Government Affirmative Fund.
Mm-hmm.
We have Women Enterprise Fund.
Mm-hmm.
We have Youth Fund.
Mm-hmm.
Like National Government Affirmative Fund actually is a grant.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna hold you there.
Yes.
Because we want to take a short break, and then we'll come back to talk about this funding. All right. So we are talking about economic impact through MSME. I mean, I find it a little bit tricky to pronounce it, but yes, there is an opportunity to have an impact. This country has so much potential to grow, and the small and micro enterprises offer very, very huge opportunity, both in terms of employment and building small operators and actually making it work for them. And that impacts the economy. But we are talking about the details, the mechanics of it. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, we talk about funding. And I'm sure some of you want to know, how do I get some money for my business? There is money in the government. We'll be talking about that shortly. All right, so let's take a short break.
Well, Sister Talk is back. And there's no better way of starting us off than to gather women and ladies on the 8th of March 2025 at the Kenya Cinema Plaza from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Our theme is Woman, Purpose and Excellence. We will be laughing together, we will be learning and unlearning, and also moments of impartation and prayer. We will have great guests joining us, Pastor Lee Wanja and Joyce Omondi. These are dynamic women who are doing great things, not only in the marketplace, but also in ministry. Our registration fee goes for only 500 shillings. You can send your monies on the till number that is running below your screen. Please note, this event will not be aired live on our TV station or on our social media platforms, so you don't want to miss being there in person. I am Linda Talam, and I look forward to hosting you. See you there.
There's no nation, no town, no city without fathers.
Being a Holy Spirit driven church is New Testament.
The quality of the message, it was based in Acts chapter 2.
And I took my Bible and I went from street to street. Is anybody dead here?
We never met those miracles a reason to appeal for money or to be known. No.
Tracing the Mantles is a program whose core is to identify mantle carriers from our fathers.
That Catholic woman stood and he was sliding everywhere. He said, oh yes, now this is the black Catholic woman.
But these are not only mantles, but spiritual authorities that have paid the cost, stood the test of time,
You are given 6 hours to leave the country.
and made lots of sacrifices for the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Many of us invested in the school, college, university ministry.
But these are not only mantles, but spiritual authorities.
One of the things that bring revival in this country is the power of the Holy Spirit, the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Catch Tracing the Mantles every Sunday from 8:30, hosted by Pastor Sunda Juma, only on Elevate TV.
Welcome back. This is the Monday Morning Digest. We are talking about the economic impact through micro, small, and medium enterprises. And basically, we're saying there are opportunities. There are really opportunities if you are in the retail sector, micro retail sector, or in any small business, or any sector of the economy. There are very, very huge opportunities, and my guest here is telling us about some of the keys, some of the things that we can do. Before we went to the break, we were talking about funding, which obviously is a major issue. A lot of people actually get stuck at the funding level. Capital is always a challenge, but there is a way to go around that, and Benard Mugo here is telling about it. So Benard, before we went to the break, you told us about, you were trying to list for us some of the funding programs that are available actually from the government.
Yes.
And they probably don't need as those massive collaterals that private commercial lenders obviously would be looking at. So tell us about some of the funds again, just a quick run. I think you mentioned Uwezo, GAF and the others. Maybe you can go through that again.
Yeah, so from the government side, we've got Women Enterprise Fund. That is extended to groups that have majority of the members being women, especially holding the key positions.
Okay.
Then there is a Uwezo Fund that cuts across. Then there is the Youth Fund that is specifically for the groups that are formed by youth. And then there is a national government affirmative fund. Also that one cuts across, and it's a grant.
Okay.
And all these funds, they are usually graduated.
Okay.
Some of them you will begin by taking, say, a group will start by 50,000, and then they will be, if they pay and pay well, they are graduated to the next level, 100, then there is 200, 300, 500, 750,000 up to 1 million. Majority of them caps at 1 million.
Okay.
Of course, there are officers who are sent on the ground to see what have you been doing with this fund? Is it bringing an impact? If they write a good report for you, then you can still go back and reapply and get the fund.
Okay.
So that is from the government. When you come to the private sector, you find banks. There are several banks which have a department that works with those registered groups.
Yes.
They come, and as I had mentioned, they come, they give them training in financial management, record keeping, and then even investment opportunities, how to identify other investment opportunities. Then within a short period, say a month, 1 month to 3 months, they can access funds. I know majority of the people don't usually prefer accessing funds as individuals.
Okay.
And this one is still available for those who are in those small groups.
Okay.
Because a person can take a loan from the bank and then co-guaranteed by other members, and they receive the money in their pocket, and then they go and do the investment, then pay through, of course, through the group to the bank.
Okay.
Yes. So you'll also find there are also other maybe NGOs who are also ready to work with established associations. Like at the moment, especially for those who are close to water bodies, say maybe large lakes and oceans. There is this upcoming sector called the blue economy.
Okay.
So you'll find organizations like MasterCard foundations, they are giving grants. And I got an opportunity of having one of the group in Mombasa County accessing 1.8 million from MasterCard.
Okay.
So that's a grant. They are going to invest in water purification. They have a water purification plant.
Okay.
So they are going to sell bottled water now to other micro retailers.
Right.
And other supermarkets, Yes.
Wonderful. I think that's very, very interesting. If you have a question for my guest here, please let us know how maybe you're running a small business, you're running an enterprise, you're looking for funding, you have challenges. I'm sure, especially the Nairobi County guys, there has been a major operation in the last 2 months here in Nairobi with the county government. I think my observation that they have been very, very keen on compliance. They have been back and forth on issues of compliance. So if you have a question, and maybe how as a group, as a trader, or as an organization working in a certain sector, how you can get some help, my guest here can give you actually advice, and he can work with you guys. He can help you find a way to actually stay in business and maybe find a source of funding, build a network, formalization. Let's go back to, again, the idea of formalization.
Yeah.
Like I addressed this question at the beginning, my frustration in the business in this part of the world is the fact that most businesses operate very informally. So first of all, you are on a road reserve, okay? I mean, they are everywhere in Nairobi. You're on a road reserve, you're running a business, you're running maybe a kiosk, even a restaurant or a hardware in a container by the roadside. And there is no guarantee once there is some kind of construction coming up on that side of the road that you're actually going to be pushed out. You had borrowed money, now your customers can't find you there anymore, or you have to move elsewhere. Exactly. How do you deal with those kind of, you guys who are in the development sector, what are you doing to address those issues?
Yeah, of course, one of the biggest challenge of the informal sector is inability to access information.
Right.
So majority of the people, you know, the positive side of it is that Kenyan people are enterprising people.
Yes.
And they're also innovative. So before that, somebody put that structure there. They didn't just wake up one day and they look for a fundi to fix a structure somewhere. They have done their research.
Okay.
They have come and they have realized, oh, there is a huge flow of people here. There is this person who is selling here. There is a lot of people coming to buy from them. So actually, I can come. I have found this space. I can come and put my structure in this space and earn my income.
Okay.
In fact, if you follow their records, you will find that they make huge profits.
Okay.
But now, how do we help them? Because they don't know that the government doesn't recognize those structures. According to the government, that's illegal.
Yes.
So anytime the government want to use that space, sometimes they come at night and burn and demolish them. And then the following day, the entrepreneur wake up only to find their wares splattered over the road, and it's so disgusting at times.
Okay.
So every moment we have to advise them to look for an established structure.
Okay, okay, okay.
An established structure, so that we are also able to hold conversations with the government, because anytime you want to hold that conversation with the government, they will not allow you to put your structure on road reserves, or even sometimes even dangerously on the road. You can see what is happening, especially in our streets here.
Okay.
So, of course, depending with their capabilities, they need to move to those places where they can afford, so that they avoid the losses. Yeah, so that they avoid running battles with the government. So it's a question of information.
Okay.
Yes, majority of them don't know that there are places you can't negotiate with the government, because of course the government has the power.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, information is power, and so a lot of people who operate, in an informal way, are basically bereft of information. They lack information, and so most of the time they start. But there's something else you mentioned about the fact that these guys make money. Yes. So how do you then, and that's an issue you mentioned, we want to return to it, the whole idea of building a system, a structure that works. You're running a small shop, maybe you have 2 employees, but you're losing money because maybe you don't keep your books, or when you approach the bank for funding, they tell you we want to see your books, and you don't have books.
Yes.
What do you do about that?
There is a lot of innovation that is going on, especially in the digital space.
Okay.
And Kenya is blessed with IT brains. Today, what we used to know as a POS, point of sale system, in the supermarket, where you need a computer, you need a CPU, you need a processor for receipts. These days, you can have a POS in your phone.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So you just need somebody who is going to customize a POS for you. They come do installation. Then at the end of the month, you pay something like 500 shillings, which anybody can afford.
Okay.
So you sell all your wares there, and you can actually generate a receipt and send it to somebody's phone number through WhatsApp.
Okay.
You can generate a report, a monthly report. And if, for example, you are seeking funding with the bank and they want to know your ability to pay, they can use that particular report, of course, to gauge your ability to pay, maybe for a loan, a certain amount that you have applied. Yeah, so it is possible to have a system that is helping you to run your businesses, because at times when you tell them to keep physical records, it is still a problem. Yes, because maybe somebody is having many people visiting their premises. At what time are they going to write that I've sold this particular item, I have sold this? It is actually a nightmare.
Okay.
And majority of them actually, if you ask them how much profit they earn at the end of the day or at the end of the month, they don't know. But they will tell you, what I know is that I had 50,000, but right now I have 70,000. But I can't really tell how much is the margin.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, but it is possible through the innovation that has come from the digital technology.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. So, tell us where the opportunities are. Where now somebody who is thinking of going or starting up a small retail facility, yes. Maybe a retail shop or a retail business or whatever nature, where are the opportunities, and how can what sort of capital? I don't know. I don't know whether you've worked with starting with somebody who wants to start a retail facility. And this is the kind of capital they need. These are the dynamics of making sure that you are able to make a profit.
I can say in this sector there is no specific amount of capital that you need.
Okay.
I have stories of people who started with 2,000. I have a lady somewhere in Juja started with 2,000 Kenyan shillings. And started at what I was referring to as a nano business.
All right.
Just go to the nearest wholesale, buy a few items.
Okay.
Then go and look for a space somewhere and and display them, and then ensure that they are not eating into the profit. Of course, you have to count your margin so that when you start spending, you don't eat into that margin, because your business will go by the margins that you make.
Okay.
So it is that discipline now that builds that enterprise. By the time we were talking with her business was worth almost 2 million.
Wow.
From 2,000 within a space of like 4 years. Yes, because there is a lot of potential in the retail sector.
Okay.
These guys you find here in the CBD, they just go to Kikomba, get shoes at 200 shillings a pair. They come here, they don't even use a transport, they just walk and then they sell the same at 500 shillings.
Right.
Yes, so there is a lot of potential. And also the speed at which money moves in the micro retail sector is very high, because they sell products that are, we call them the FMCGs, fast moving consumer goods. It's something that you put on the shelf today, tomorrow it's gone. You put flour on the shelf, tomorrow you have sold it. You sell you put bread in the evening, it is sold. So tomorrow you are bringing in more commodities. So money, the speed at which money exchanges hands is very high.
All right.
So they also grow very fast. So let somebody just identify what kind of wares do they want to deal with.
Okay.
But before they go to the market and start selling, let them approach somebody in the market, befriend them, get the information. Where do you get your goods? What are some of the risks that are associated with this kind of business? Speak to several people before you settle. Because at times, those people who make losses are those that just jump in.
Okay.
And they bring their wares, and then tomorrow they're frustrated because they have sold nothing.
All right.
Or maybe they saw somebody who has succeeded in a certain business, and then the following day they have taken a loan and they have got into the same business, but they have not taken time to learn.
Okay.
These days we have internet. You can learn from the internet. You can get a lot of information. You can look for opportunities. You can look for those people who are doing that business. Take, for example, a month or two. It's called market research. Move around, talk with people and hear from them. Yes.
Okay.
And that information is now going to help you to make informed decision. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think there's something, of course, you've mentioned that is always a major challenge for anybody who wants to go into business. I mean, he's speaking about the key to entrepreneurial success, and that word you mentioned is discipline.
Yes.
You know, having discipline. How do you actually develop the discipline? I mean, maybe you can tell us your own experience. You're working with small and micro business. When you are capacity enhancing them,
yes.
How do you cultivate the discipline? What are the things that really go into? Is it just a mentor frame, or is it working with the right people, or putting them along, having mentors or something? How do you cultivate that kind of discipline so that you can be an effective business person?
There is something in economics we call money illusion.
Okay.
So somebody has, in the evening they have 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But out of that 10,000 there is capital.
Mm-hmm.
And of course there is a margin.
Mm.
And in the micro retail sector, at times the margin is not very big. It's usually 8 to 10%.
Okay.
So let's assume it's 10%. So you have sold and you have realized you have 10,000 in the cash deal.
Yes.
Your margin is just 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody might think, well, tomorrow I'm going to buy a suit, which is worth 4,500 as an example.
Right.
So when they buy, they're going to be very excited they have a new suit. But they have eaten into they have eaten the margin, they have spent the margin, and they have eaten into the capital.
Right.
So what will happen to that particular person? Within 3 weeks, there are some commodities on the shelf. They are going to sell, they will be out of stock. But when they go to the cash deal, there is no money to restock.
Okay.
So where did the money go? They spent both the margin, the profit margin, and the stock and the capital.
All right.
So that is why we advise them to keep records so that you know this is what I make. Out of these 10,000, I have made 1,000. So I'm going to ensure that my expenditure does not exceed 1,000.
Okay.
So anytime I know I have exceeded 1,000, I have to look for money to replace my capital. Otherwise, I find myself selling, there is a commodity we call hakuna.
Yes.
So you come to the shop, I need bread, hakuna.
Yes.
I need sugar, hakuna. So
yes.
In order to avoid selling that particular product, then somebody need to be disciplined, knowing their margin and also keeping their expenditure within that margin. Yeah. Maybe if you allow me, I take you back to an opportunity, other opportunities that are available.
Okay.
You know, you find processors, people like those who sell flour, people who sell something like a commodity like milk.
Okay.
We have the traditional supply chain where they sell from processors, then you go to wholesalers, distributors, then before you get to the micro retailer. And the whole of that chain involves additional of everybody is going to add their margins.
Okay.
But you realize that these days they also want to deal with the micro retailer. But of course the micro retailer must be able to handle volumes.
Okay.
So some of the opportunities that come when people come together is combining their orders. We call it aggregation.
Okay.
So such that the profit that was being eaten in the whole supply chain now comes to them.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's
okay.
an opportunity.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. I think that's very, very important, and I think we need to tell our viewers that if you are in whatever sector, maybe retail sector, that when you come together as several traders, you can then take advantage of your scale and actually cut some of the middlemen in the process of, that kind of thing. Yes. Yeah, because I would, maybe we can give a hypothetical example of the people who sell bananas at the Godfrey market.
Yes.
So when all those women come together, they can actually order one truck of bananas all the way from Meru or wherever, and it lands there straight for them.
Yes.
So in Amwagwa, and there's no broker.
Yes.
Because it's just they order together. You know, so they are able to cut off the margins.
Yes.
Wonderful, amazing. What are the other opportunities? Because so that in case somebody is listening, some of you who are listening and you are running a small business, I want you to know that there is actually opportunity for you to have an impact. There is an opportunity for you to actually build a successful enterprise if you work together with other people. What are the other areas?
Of course, the other areas, there is what we call the indirect jobs.
Okay.
And the indirect jobs now comes to other peoples who facilitate, for example, the movement of commodities.
Right.
I've talked about those who are in digital space.
Yes.
Up to this moment, we still don't have a reliable POS for the micro retailers.
Okay.
Even those that are upcoming, they are still developing. So somebody that is in the IT, before they wait for the big business there, talk about these small ones and then deal with mass, because that is a mass market.
Okay.
Come up with a product, with that digital space, even charges 200 shillings, but sell it to 10,000 people.
Okay.
Because in micro retail, for example, shops, they are around 600. Data says that they are around 600,000.
Okay.
In the Republic.
Okay.
If you add the margin of error, there might be more, maybe up to 1 million.
Okay.
So that's a sector, and I know there are many IT guys maybe who are even watching us. Why don't you innovate and come up with that particular POS? In the supply chain of commodities, we realize that there are sometimes maybe these particular entrepreneurs order for goods, and then the goods take time before they reach they are supplied. So you can come in as a facilitator of that particular business. Maybe you own a truck, yeah, maybe that doesn't have a lot of work to do. You can come in, yeah, you can visit them and ask them what are some of the challenges that they face. And you can offer solutions. Because in Kenya, we have the challenge of people not mining information.
Okay.
Yes. You mine information from those who are already in the business, because that is how you can identify your niche. What we call the niche maybe is, in simpler term, the gap.
Right.
So what the gap? So when you mine information from those who are in business, you will be able to find your gap.
Okay.
Yes. What does that hotel person, because they deal with the commodities, what is their gap?
Okay.
Yes.
What are they missing?
What are they missing?
How can you add value to their business?
Yes, yes.
Or even if somebody is actually running, even if somebody is they have a flat and they want to rent, or they have whatever kind of business.
Yes.
What you are saying is that there is a huge opportunity if you're willing to mine for information.
Yes.
Because that's where the gap is. Information is power.
Information is power. Actually, even the government.
Yes.
Instead of running battles, why don't you hold conversation with these guys and know where you can come in?
Yeah, by the way, that's true. Actually,
sure.
That's true. Yeah.
Because you see, the government is collecting taxes. Yeah. And every time there is a gap, for example, I heard the other day they didn't meet the target.
Yes.
So they are still looking for more. And you see, the easiest way for government to get tax is just to take a bill to the parliament, and then they say they have adjusted, the margins for those who have salaries, and the following month they have tax, they have billions.
Yes.
But there are other innovative ways, for example, of talking with these people who are innovative, who are enterprising,
yes.
Holding conversation with them and know how can we work together so that you do business and also we don't bring disorder.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of the government just thinking like their work is to police the business person, and just run around with a big hammer,
yes.
Ready to straighten them out, that kind of thing. So Very, very, very important. Thank you so much, Bwana Benard Mugo here, talking about the opportunities in leveraging the micro, small, and medium enterprises. In fact, he actually introduced an extra category called nano enterprise, where you're running, you're buying just about 5 items, and you buy them, you come and sell. You buy them from downtown, you come and sell them uptown. That is still a business, and it has a place in this republic. So we've covered quite a bit of ideas about how this particular sector, the micro, small, and medium enterprises, actually are impacting the economy. And you too can be part of it. You can be part of it whether as an entrepreneur yourself, or maybe somebody who is looking for opportunity to invest in those areas. And so as we wrap up, Bwana Mugo, maybe look at that camera. Yes. And talk to that person who is a business entrepreneur, somebody who has a dream to starting a business, and they don't know where to start and how to make an impact. So in 1 or 2 words, yes, what is the first step?
Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I know you have followed our conversation. To cap it all, there are opportunities in business, and you too can become an entrepreneur. You just need to mark your starting point, and you can start with any money. And as I said, mine information there in the market, talk to real people, read what is available in the internet, and just start. You just start and you will move. If you're already in business, why don't you find the people whom you can agree, whom you are of one mind, and then come together, established a formal, a body that is recognized by the government, and you will be able to mine the opportunities that are available both in the private sector and also in the government. And that will put you will give you peace of mind. Instead of government harassing you, you can now hold a conversation with the government. Wish you all the best in your business.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Benard, for coming on the show and talking to us about economic impact through the micro, small, and medium enterprises. That's all we had for you today on the Monday Morning Digest. I believe that you've learned something, and please have a great, great, great day, an entrepreneurial thinking day, and may the Lord bless you so much. We'll see you next week. Keep it elevate. Keep it here every Monday. We are here. God bless you, and have a great day. Bye for now.